Round 13 of the FIM MX1 MX2 Motocross World Championship took place at Matterley Basin in Winchester. And it was Ken Roczen who got off to the perfect start in Moto number 1. Valentin Tellier and Jeremy Van Hoorbeek were also up there, so too was Tommy Searle. But Valentin Tellier made this mistake from 3rd position and then would eventually go on to finish in 5th position. Gauthier Paulin was on the charge though. He had a poor start and by the end of the first lap was up into 5th place and then challenging with Jeremy Van Hoorbeek and the likes of Jeffrey Hurlings. Eventually he found his way up into 4th position when he made this move on the KTM rider. Tommy Searle was also a poor starter. First of all having to climb up into 5th and then into 4th position, and then he found himself battling with Gauthier Paulin to go into 3rd place. Tommy Searle then started to do battle with other riders around him, but it was a win for Ken Roczen. MX1 race 1, Christophe Pourcel was up the inside with Tanel Leoc, but it was Stephen Frossard, Anthony Boissiere, the Monster Energy Yamahas who took off at the front of the field. Tony Cairoli started down in 8th position, and when he went past Boissiere he was up into 6th place. Rui Gonçalves was next on the Italians' radar, and these two were battling over 4th position. Eventually Cairoli went through. Tanel Leoc tried to follow through as well on that TM in the background. Eventually found his way past the Portuguese rider, did the number 6 of Tanel Leoc, and then Tony Cairoli went past Billy McKenzie, who was a wild card on the Kawasaki this weekend. McKenzie started in 3rd place, but McKenzie eventually dropped down to 7th position. Stephen Frossard was leading the race from Pourcel, and then he stalled the engine with a lap and a half to go, and that gifted the Frenchman Pourcel the lead. And eventually it was Pourcel who won the first race here in Matterley. MX2 race 2, Arnold Tonus up the inside with Tommy Searle, but once again it was Ken Roczen on the Red Bull Tekka Factory KTM with his teammates Van Hoorbeek and Hurlings in close pursuit. Before long though, Ken Roczen was starting to establish himself at the head of the field. Arnold Tonus, who started in 7th position, found himself going past Jeremy Van Hoorbeek, who was riding with a bug this weekend, and that moved him up into 6th position. Roczen had this scary moment where he wrestled with that KTM whilst leading by about 10 seconds. Valentin Tellier was 4th when he threw a chain on that Suzuki Europe MX2 machine. Gauthier Paulin found his way past Arnold Tonus to move up into 5th position after another poor start for the Monster Energy Yamaha rider. And Joel Roulant, who was then in 4th position, his bike expired with about 4 or 5 laps to go, forcing him to score no points. Roczen won the race though from Tommy Searle, Jeffrey Hurlings, Gauthier Paulin and Arnold Tonus. It was a great ride for Jake Nichols, but the overall victory went to Roczen. It was an eventful MX1 race 2. We had 2 race starts. Sean Simpson led the opening race originally from Christophe Pourcel and Stephen Frossard, but then Pourcel crashed on the opening lap. Frossard then went after Simpson and took the lead on lap 2. Meanwhile, Tony Cairoli was in around 5th position, got too close to Davide Guarneri and went down. He eventually picked himself up in 8th position, but then, shortly after that, the red flag came out after this incident. Billy McKenzie landing on Tanel Leoc, and both riders crashed out. Neither would make the restart. Christophe Pourcel did though, as the rules allow everybody to restart. And Pourcel decided then to run back to the truck, get himself back changed again and rejoin this race. Up front though, Tony Cairoli made the most of his whole shot and started to disappear from Christophe Pourcel. Stephen Frossard then was in 3rd position and went past his fellow French rider and race 1 winner, Pourcel, to take 2nd. Cairoli though was comfortable at the head of the field and was relatively unchallenged throughout the 2nd moto, and eventually went on to win the race and the Grand Prix.
I'm sure he'd be well pleased with that one.